I don't think anyone likes losing, but I just liked it probably a little bit less than other people. Well, you behave like a dick, so got a bit out of control with it all, really. But everyone seemed to like it. I seemed to be able to get away with anything. You know, no one would say anything back.
Because you're winning.
Exactly, that's it. By 1999, all you would see at the Brands Arch was 125,000 people, whoever it was, a sea of English flags. Maybe 80 or 90,000 gone there to really want me to win, and there's probably the 20, 30,000 who want me to crash at the first corner and burn, you know. This is the only crash I've ever had that I have no memory of whatsoever. I think I knew straight away. I thought, this is it, really. Maybe a part of me wanted it to be over, I don't know. I felt like the pressure and relief of having to go out and win another race, another world title had gone. I was like, yes, brilliant. I've suffered a lot of the last 4 or 5 years quite bad with anxiety and depression. I must admit, I've got this thing in me, I can't control it, I can't beat it. I've had to admit defeat and say, look, I have to live with it and deal with it.
When you get the phone call to be on I'm a Celebrity, this was your biggest challenge since you left racing?
By far the biggest challenge ever, because I hate being bored, I hate being hungry, and I don't really like people. Obviously, you're all right. Racing was something I knew I was good at, I knew I could do. This wasn't. Then he said, the winner is Foggy. I was dropped at floor. The real guy, the real Carl Fogarty, finally was shown to the UK. And I guess they kind of like me for being myself and just taking mick out myself and taking mick out of the things in life, really, which, yeah, we should all do, really. We all need a laugh now and again.
They say that the human race is doomed, that we have lost touch with our true nature, that the media has corrupted us, and that the planet has no future. I disagree. I believe that humanity is full of hope, and that our salvation lies within each one of us. My name is Brian Rose, and my job is to listen, the oldest method of learning known to man. Each week I seek out individuals that are changing the world, people who are living and thinking in a different way. Their stories will challenge your beliefs, make you question your choices, and perhaps inspire you to change. I never planned on doing any of this, but now I can't stop. Join me on this mission and make humanity something we can all be proud of.
It's time for you to man up, to once and for all, tell your mind who the fuck is boss. I need a fucking answer. What's it gonna be?
I don't know what it is about this fucking sport, but it attracts people that really need to do deep work on themselves.
I failed in this city. All these bad memories. I never really felt like I gave a fuck about me or my life. I almost killed myself, like.
Think about something that is going to drive you when it really hurts. Some kind of demon you want to fight.
This is not Pussy Man, this is Iron Man. Under pressure reveals true character. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be in Chattanooga May 20th or what?
If you were a fan of superbike racing in the 90s, then you well know who Carl Fogarty is. He won and won and won. He was also massively controversial, would always call out his opponents and tell it like it is, until a crash in the year 2000 ruined his career, and he went quiet. He struggled with anxiety and depression, and then came back in a big way to win I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where we really saw what the true Foggy is like. A lot of fun, a lad who loves to have a laugh. And now he's out with his latest book where he takes pot shots at cricketers and footballers. And it was just an amazing time I had speaking with Carl, and I know you're going to love it too. And inside London Real, the Academy's going crazy because our Life Accelerate starts soon. If you want to learn the high performance habits of the greatest guests on London Real and be part of a group around the world, join me, and here's a little bit more information about the Academy.
London Real doesn't stop when the conversation ends. You see, that's when we get started. Because everything begins with a thought, and then comes the action. The London Real Academy is our global transformation platform. Here we bring together thousands of students from over 75 countries. Whether you want to build a profitable business from your passion, or learn to speak to inspire, or broadcast yourself with your very own podcast, or accelerate your life to become a high-performance person, we have the online accountability course and personal mentoring program that will make your dream a reality. Join us, and we'll take your life to the next level, together. Our next accelerator course is starting soon.
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Carl Fogarty, the most successful world superbike racer of all time. Known as Foggy to your legion of fans, you grew up in a motorcycle racing family and went on to gain 59 victories and 4 World Superbike championships. In the year 2000, your career was ended by a serious crash at 140 miles per hour where you fractured your left shoulder. Since then, you've been awarded an MBE and won the TV show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and crowned King of the Jungle. You're smiling. Your new book, The World According to Foggy, chronicles your life. It's full of pot shots and hilarious anecdotes. Carl, welcome to London Real.
Thank you. Pleasure. Pleasure to be here. Yeah.
What's it like being in London? You know, what does this city kind of mean to you?
I love London. I love it. I don't get down here enough, really. I love just that buzz when I get off the train, and it's just sort of bright lights everywhere and people around. It's just buzzing, you know. But within an hour of kind of being in a taxi and not getting to my hotel, I'm starting to get frustrated and wound up. And then when I get there, I'm all right. Then I get out, have a few drinks, and you know, I just love London. But then I can't wait to get out of it as well. 1 or 2 days here, that's just, I can't cope with just not getting from A to B, you know, quickly. You're just stuck in traffic for, I think it was 3 miles away from I was traveling today. It took just over an hour and 10 minutes. That's just crazy.
It is crazy. How does it compare to home, to Blackburn? And how would you explain that city to like someone from America that's never been to England? What's the contrast like?
To Blackburn, there's no comparison whatsoever, really, because I can get anywhere in, like, you know, I can get in 3 minutes. I can get probably cover 5 mile. Obviously, I'm not speeding, sticking to the speed limit, so of course.
And what are the people like up there? What's the culture like?
I think they're a bit reserved, really. I think a little bit within themselves. I think it's, I don't know, salt of the earth, some would say, really. I think just down to earth, kind of working class town it is, really, working class people. And nothing really, in some ways, excites them, and nothing really phases them, really, you know. I think when Blackburn won the Premiership, it was like, oh, okay. It was like, you know, when I won the World Championship, it's, oh, okay. You know, I don't really, you know, you're just, even me there, I'm just Carl Fogarty from Blackburn. I'm not like somebody who's famous or a celebrity or anything like that, even though to a lot of people, I know that I am, but the way I act and the way they act around me, it keeps me firmly, my feet firmly on the ground, really, just an ordinary, normal guy from the north of England who just could happen to ride a motorcycle a bit better than some other guys at a certain point in his life, and that's the way it should be, really. You shouldn't act famous or pretend you're famous when really we're all the same. It's just that some of us can do something better than others at whatever profession you've chose to do, really. And
they keep you
grounded. I think they see it that way. I think the people in Blackburn see it that way, yeah.
You said before that you couldn't leave Blackburn because they wouldn't let you.
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm born there. I still live there, and I just joke saying, look, you know, people say, why come you never moved away? So they won't let me. They probably would, actually. But it's home, innit, really? I don't know. You know, if the weather got to me, I'd do something about it, or I'd move away, or it's just the friends there, a kind of family, or it's just home, and you know, having a young family when I was racing and stuff, to uproot them and you know maybe go to Monaco or Aleman, because you know he obviously started earning good money, and when I was world champion in the mid-90s and stuff, and it does cross your mind a little bit, but I don't know, I'm just too much of a home sort of bird, I guess, and I guess with a young family as well. And like I said, it's just something about northern maybe people, the more kind of true to the roots, I think, really. I think even with fame and success, you tend to keep your feet on the ground a lot more than maybe if you're from the south. I think so, really.
Yeah. I want to talk about your racing success, but first, maybe you could tell me a little bit about motorcycle culture in general. I mean, I think my cousins in Arizona in the late 70s took me on a dirt bike. I was scared. I was on a ranch, but I never got into like the culture. You know, your father was into, you know, motorcycle racing, you know it, but you ride now still. What is that culture like?
It's hard to explain, really. I've always said, if whatever you're brought up around in life, the chances are you're going to do that, really, for a hobby, a profession, job, you know. And my father used to race, like you just touched on, so that's all I've known, really. I've only known motorcycle racing. That was what he did. That was his hobby, really. He never really went professional. He had a business to run at the same time, really. But I just wanted to race motorbikes and ride motorbikes from as early as I can remember, you know, really. So that's the culture for me. Is just what I've been brought up with, really. What I've been not forced to do, but forced in a good way to be around, because that's what he did. You know, I thought, oh, I like this. But you know, there's a lot of sportsmen or women who have children. They're not interested at all in what they do. You know. But I did. I wanted to ride bikes, and that was it. Really. I don't know what it was. Maybe the sound of them, or what excitement, the adrenaline, but just, you know, being around them, watching my dad race. I just couldn't wait to be at an age where I could get on a bike and go and race, or just go and ride it around the field at the back of my house, you know. Yeah.
Were you great from the start?
No, I wasn't really, no. I wasn't really that... I don't think I had that much natural talent or natural ability. I think it's something I had to work really hard at. I think I had determination, aggression, and you know, and a hatred of losing. That I had that stronger than probably anybody else. So I had to work hard at you know, adapting, changing my style, and you know, learning from others who were beating me when I first started. Really, because you know, I knew I was going to win. I kept saying I was going to win. I kept saying I was the best. I'm going to be world champion. But you know, even as a young kid, and I look back now, I think, God, he was a bit cocky and arrogant back then. You know, how did you know? I don't know if I actually believed it. I just kept saying it because hoping somebody would listen. It just sounded cool, but maybe it didn't. I don't know. But no, I had to work hard. Definitely had to work hard. I didn't. I saw the guys with more natural ability on bikes and doing wheelies and taking one hand off in the air and all that kind of stuff. And no, I couldn't do all that really. I was. But that didn't win your races. What won your races were going around the corners faster than everybody else. So that's what I worked on, really. That's what I put all my focus and all my efforts into, really.
And that takes laps and laps and laps. Did you practice harder than everyone else?
I wouldn't say I practiced harder, because it's not like you can go out and kick a football around in the back garden. You can't go and do that on a motorbike, really. You've got to go to a race circuit, which is, I don't know, could be an hour away or whatever. So, you know, it costs and everything. But I just so determined. When I got beat, I try and figure out why I got beat, really. And if someone come past me, or go into a corner, then obviously they're braking later than me. Or if I'm losing time mid-corner, then they're you know, I'm not carrying the same corner speed that they are. So it's hard to say what makes someone better than somebody else, really. But it's just determination is a word I use a lot. You know, aggression, determination. And I hated losing, so I try and figure out why I was losing when I'm starting out. But a lot of the reason why you're losing when you're starting out is because you're inexperienced, really, like anybody, any sport, really. And you're against guys who've got more experience than you. So, but eventually it came together.
Where does that hatred of losing come from, do you think?
I don't really know, because my dad was a really nice guy. He still is. You know, I think one of the headlines of the paper when he won a few races in the 70s, one of the nicest guys in racing was. I was totally opposite. He didn't mind. He just loved racing for a hobby. Like I say, it was hobbying, really. So where did it come from for me? I don't know, because having said that, when I played my dad at like something like darts or dominoes or pool, he used to hate. Or I played him at squash. He used to hate it if I beat him, he used to get really mad. So I guess it must have come from him or my mum or somebody, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just what's in me. It was there at school when I played football, and we got beat or something. We got beat 2-1 or something, and I'd be really upset, and nobody else seemed that bothered really. So I think a team sport was never really going to be where I was going to be. You know, would be good for me because, you know, I could blame everybody else, but they weren't that bothered about it. But for me, I need to be in a single sport, and obviously bike racing was it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think anyone likes losing, but I just liked it probably a little bit less than other people, I guess.
And what about going into a race and being emotional or being aggressive or angry? I mean, I've talked to people like Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn, and most fighters will even say, if you go in emotional, it's a great way to lose a fight. Can you do that in racing? And can you sustain emotions, of course, you know, the time of a race?
Yeah, you know, I don't think emotions. No, I don't. I mean, you're obviously very nervous. Your pressure can get you, I suppose, really. But I don't know. I put a lot of pressure on myself, stupidly. I don't know why. I look back now, and how I was, and the things I would say, I was going to do, or say about other people, were just putting more pressure on myself. But I seem to be able to respond to that and win. And I look back now and think, God, why did you keep your mouth shut? You made it a little bit easier for yourself in case it didn't go right. But I don't know why I was like I was, but I was just me, you know. Emotions, I could control them till after the race. Then I couldn't control them at all. And
What would happen?
Well, it depends. If I won a race at Donington Park in front of Brands Hatch, in front of thousands and thousands of Brits, you know, which happened, then, you know, it's just the tears of the emotion. You know, it's just the best feeling in the world. And I always start crying. I was a bit soft that way, me. When I won the world title first one in Australia in '94, I was just emotional. I couldn't stop crying for like 3 hours after the race, you know, because it's such a long year, and you know, trying to win something you dreamt of winning since you were a kid. So to finally achieve that, having gone through a difficult year, when it goes down to the last race of the year at the other side of the world, and you bring it home and win, then it's just floods of tears and emotions, which you see most sportsmen who win something, you know, really big and really important. You see how much it means to them, and
yeah.
I'm no different, really, I suppose.
You said one of your best days was in '95 in Brands Hatch. You know, 50,000 people came out. Hadn't seen crowds like that since the '70s. What do you remember from that day?
I remember the whole weekend going down there thinking, oh, God, it's Brands Hatch. I'm pretty shit at Brands Hatch. I never won a race there in my life, to be honest.
Wow.
Even at club level. And I'd not been out the top two, I don't think, all the way. I was leading the championship by quite comfortably when I come to Brands Hatch, and went out in the first session, and I don't know, I felt okay on the track and came in on top of the timesheets, you know, and I thought, not even trying, you know. And it just, the whole weekend was like that. Every session I was fastest, pole position. I remember on the race day, it was a red hot day at Brands Hatch, July, August time, and pulling the curtain back in the motorhome, and I could see the grandstand at Paddock Hill Bend, turn 1 at Brands Hatch, and it was just full. I didn't expect that. I don't think anyone did, really. But it was just that time when it was just all kicking off. The Superbikes became so big. You know, the TV coverage was brilliant with, you know, with Sky doing it and everything, and you know, the weather was amazing, and people had heard about it, and it was new, and obviously this British guy was world champion and defended his title. And so that day when I started the race and just won both races quite easily, new lap records in front of like between 50 and 60,000 people, that hadn't been seen in Britain for nearly 20 years, since the late 70s, you know. And it was a perfect day. I've always said that particular day, the bike, I could make it do anything. I could make it dance, you know. And yeah, so it was one of the best kind of days when I look back on my career that I've ever had, really, yeah.
And what makes that perfect day? Weather, vibe, you're feeling right, the machine is on point as well?
Well, the thing that makes the day is winning races, really. That's the top, you know, top tick sort of thing.
That's all that matters, right?
It is, yeah.
The rest is talk.
If everything else I'd said about that day, it was, you know, as it was, but I didn't win the races, then it would never have been a perfect day. It'd have been a shit day, to be honest, because it had to win. But it was just at that time it all happened, really, that way. If there's one race, when did Superbikes become massive, and when did you become maybe a household name? And in the UK, then it would have been that race, I think, that event in the middle of 1995, yeah.
You said in the book, the more I won, the more famous I became, the more difficult I became. I was terrible, I really was. And you said it was really that one-man show. You didn't have a manager, and so you were kind of insular, but that also made you great.
I don't know what I don't know what it was, to be honest. Because this was a guy that he wasn't really like that away from the racetrack, you know. I think, you know, I'm just a bit shy and a bit awkward in some ways, and just an ordinary lad from the north of England, like I've said before. But yeah, when I was racing, the more I won, the more I would say, the more I guess I become a bit big-headed, really, is the word. I didn't realise that at the time. I realise it now, looking back. But everyone seemed to like it. I seemed to be able to get away with anything. You know, no one would say anything back.
Because you're winning.
Exactly, that's it. So I look back now and think, shit, he was so lucky, really, you know. Why would you put that much pressure on yourself? Why don't you just keep your mouth shut and go win races and enjoy it? And I didn't regret not really enjoying it, because I didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed like 5 minutes of crossing that line, winning the race, listening to the national anthem, then, you know, have a few beers that night or something, and then straight away be thinking of the next race, you know, and just thinking about myself, you know, not everybody else around me, really, which I kind of regret in some ways. But then people say you shouldn't regret it, because that's just how you were, that's how you had to be to win races, you know. But yeah, the more it got, the more winning, and the more the years went on, the more famous it was. Like the pressure, you know, it was getting to me a little bit, and I was making mistakes as well, and you know, I think I believed my own press at one point, and yeah, I think it wasn't until it was all over that I realised, you know, I'd got a bit out of control with it all, really, you know, and lost touch with people, and people who meant a lot to me, and friends around me that were like, "Oh, you behave like a dick," so we just kind of stayed out of your way, really. I'm sorry about that, you know. So it took a bit, you know, it took a bit of time to get my mates back a little bit, I suppose. I'd lost a bit of touch with through the success and fame of you know what happened to me, really. Yeah.
Talk to me about in 2000. You know, I was watching the footage today of, you know, of that crash, and I don't know if you like talking about it or not, but you're passing that guy on the outside, and you're going so fast, and I was just wondering, like, what is on your mind at that point? I guess you're not thinking about personal safety. You're just thinking about, this is what I do, and I aggressively want to win.
Well, to be honest, this is the only crash I've ever had that I have no memory of whatsoever. So I've only seen what you've seen and think, well, why have I done that? Why have I hit the back of this guy? You know, so nothing's going through my mind because I've no memory of it whatsoever. The only thing I remember out that day was, you know, I think I had a really good race in the first race. I rode one of the best races I've ever rode to finish second on the wrong tyres. Everybody else had kind of gone the way I gone with the tyres. And one of the guys chose wets when it looked like it was going to be a beautiful sunny day, and I don't know how he knew that, but it rained throughout the race, and I kept the thing upright and finished second. And then for the second race, I thought, right, I'm going to win this. I'm definitely win this race. I'm up for this one. I felt really good after the first race. Got the right tyres. Sun's out now. It's pretty much dry everywhere. And dropped the clutch as it light went to green, and the bike just spun up on the line. I thought, fuck! I was obviously on a wet patch from, you know, from the days, you know, from the wet to the rain, obviously, and but there was a dry line, so I got a really bad start. I was coming through the field on the first lap, and because it was only a dry line, it wasn't very wide. I remember coming through the start and finish. The guy who won the first race, Anthony Gobert, on the big motor, which was shocked everybody. Pulling out and passing him, and then after that, my next memory is I'm waking up in hospital and hearing helicopter noise and them kind of things coming and going, you know. So I've only seen what you've seen, everybody else has seen, really. So I couldn't understand what had happened, why I've done that, you know. Until it finally gets back to you through people who were there and watching and saying that the guy in front had an issue with his bike. A guy called Robert Ulm, who was misfiring with his bike, and he'd kind of pulled off, and I was coming through coming through really quickly, setting fast lap every lap, coming through the field. It was about sixth or 7th place, something like that. And yeah, he's kind of pulled off, then pulled back out again apparently, onto the racing line as his bike's cleared, and then I've come so fast behind him. I've obviously misjudged him, even though, because I've not remembered this, I've just seen the clip, I thought, well, you've clipped him, you obviously misjudged where he was and clipped him. Mm. So I guess it's my fault in some ways, really, even everyone's trying to blame him, but it's not his fault. His bike's misfiring or something, I don't know, but I'll never know because I have no memory of it. And the next thing I know, I'm seeing the shots of me just lying motionless in the grass, and having hit the tyre wall really fast. And I've obviously gone in with my head and my shoulder. I think gone in just my head. I don't think I'll be here now, to be honest. people said, well, you hit the tyre wall and come ricocheting off it like 30 meters, and sort of, he's gone, he's gone.
I mean, it's scary just seeing you not move there for like minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't bad for me because I didn't know anything about it. But for people watching, like my wife, I remember sure that the footage went back to her, showing her crying her eyes out, obviously thinking the worst. But no, here I am. Can't get rid of me yet.
And the strange thing that you said about that day was, I felt relief knowing that the pressures and expectations, the crowd and the TV, feeling sick every Sunday morning, knowing you had to go out and win was gone. That's...
Yeah, I think initially when I think I knew fairly early on that year after I come around and got back to the UK and saw a top specialist in Oxford, Professor Andrew Carr. The injury was pretty bad. He said, look, you're really not going to get the bet. It's not going to be it's not going to be as it was. You might get 75% your strength movements, back in your shoulder, maybe 80%, I don't know, from what it was. And I think I knew straight away. I thought, this is it, really. And I think maybe a part of me wanted it to be over. I don't know, because the pressure, like you say, of having to go out and win again, go out and tell everybody I'm the best. You know what I mean? It's just crowd expect it, press and media expect it. It's getting more and more hard every year, and I find it harder and harder to sleep every night. But it's all stuff I put on myself, really. Can't really blame anybody but myself, to be honest.
It's one thing to get the title; it's a different thing to defend the title, right? 'Cause everyone's coming for you.
I guess so. Yeah, I remember Barry Sheen saying that to me, really, after I won it in '94. He said, "Well, the only way now is down." And I thought, I don't like the sound of that, so I kind of planned on staying there for a while at the top, and kind of did, really. But obviously I switched teams, which didn't help. But then got it back, everything was on top again, and winning races, world championships. But that year 2000, I wasn't sure if I was in the right place now. I think I'd had enough of it all, but I wasn't really sure. But once I got to Australia, I felt okay. I had to race the first race that year injured in South Africa. From another shoulder injury through skiing, and then then I injured my I had 3 shoulder injuries in space of like 2 months.
Which is not something good to have injured on a motorcycle. Because
no,
you're leaning into turns and you...
Yeah. The first one was skiing in January. Then I got over that and did the testing in Valencia in February, crashed again, did my other shoulder. And then just about got over that and got to Australia, having raced the first race in Kyalami in South Africa, injured. And it's like someone was saying to me, look, he's not listening to you. One shoulder injury, he's got over that, another one to go over that. Third one was a proper one, and he's not coming back for this one. It's like 3 shoulder injuries, in 2 months. It's like, we listen, it's time for you to go now.
So that was a sign.
And of all days for it to end on, there's somebody who's patriotic as I was about being from England. It all ended on St. George's Day, England's Day, 23rd of April, which was bizarre, really. Because I think when I started winning races and grabbing the English flag, people picked up on that in mid-90s, and by 1999, all you would see at the Brands Arch was 125,000 people, whoever it was. It was just ridiculous, just a sea of English flags just everywhere, and everything I like in my life.
Why were you so popular? If you look back on it now, why?
I don't know, really. I think because I was just, I think it's hard because there was a lot of people didn't like me as well, because I was outspoken, I was a bit brash, big-headed, whatever you want to call it, a bit ignorant up my own backside. But a lot of people like that. A lot of people do like that.
They like the heel. They like the person.
Must have been bad guy. I don't know what it was, but maybe I said it as it were. I don't really know, but I had a massive following, like you said. But like I said, brands is kind of, like I said, 125,000 or whatever it was, and just over 120,000 for sure. I mean, I think it was even more. People climbing over fences and all sorts. It's a ridiculous amount of people. I've never seen anything like it from so far back with camera angles from around the circuit. It was just ridiculous. But I think maybe 100,000, maybe 80 or 90,000 have gone there to really want me to win, and there's probably the 20, 30,000 who want me to crash at the first corner and burn, So
you polarized people. They say that's great art polarizes, is what they say. So.
I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I think that people saw me differently as the years went on after racing, And I still thought I was a guy that was racing after I was racing. And I was still saying things about people and maybe the championship and bikes and other riders when I wasn't racing anymore. But now they're all coming back, and I thought, that didn't happen before, really. And I just thought, now I'm not racing anymore. I'm kind of making myself an idiot here and making myself sound a bit bitter and twisted. I'm no longer out there, really. And people are coming back and saying things about me, which I thought, I'm missing it now. I'm not out there. I'm not number one, not the top guy anymore, and I don't like this. So that's probably started keeping my mouth shut a bit then. And
What was it like?
Turning the TV off and not really watching it for a while, really, if I'm honest, and cancelling the newspapers and everything. I suppose was my way of dealing with it. Yeah.
What was it like afterwards? I mean, was there depression?
Initially, it was great because I felt like the pressure and relief of having to go out and win another race, another world title had gone. I was like, yes, brilliant. And then as it got into 2001, 2002, I was like, don't think I was depressed. I just didn't want to read or watch what was going on in my sport, really. I wanted to hang around with my mates and got them back and got them back out on bikes and started enjoying myself and go and do a bit of fishing and or whatever, just spending more time with the family and just some holidays and stuff like that. But so initially it was all right, and then I think I started missing it once you got to 2002. But that time the chance to run this Petronas team came about and stuff, so I kind of said yes to that. Although I wouldn't have admitted at the time, and only now look back, I was still very raw from not being able to race anymore. It probably come at the wrong time, really, but I threw myself into that in a way. But then in another way, I kind of didn't know. I kind of paid other people to run the team and get more involved. I didn't. It was certainly a learning experience doing it all, and frustrating at times with the bike we were running. But I don't know if I wanted to be there. I think it happened too soon from having retired from racing in the way it did with the accident. For me to go running this race team, so I was kind of involved with all that, but at the same time not really wanting to be there, if it makes any sense, So depression and things, yeah, I handled it all right. I had a good family around me and stuff, but I think I missed it. I don't think I was depressed. I just missed being out there, winning the race. Just that bit. Not everything else that went along with it, and all the bullshit, everything that goes with it, travelling and, the testing in the winter. I just when I heard someone got that, when I heard that national anthem, I thought, God, I miss that so much, So yeah, I kind of went away from it a bit really after that. After running the race team thing, I'd lost of interest really after that completely.
And so you got completely away from racing, but you still kept riding.
Yeah, I was riding for fun with the lads. I just like going off-road riding. I was my way of getting away from it really. Go and do a bit of fishing with lads, my mate Mark and Kev and them guys. We had some good fun, just being daft lads, being silly and playing tricks on each other, and like I said, a bit of fishing, go and watch the football, go to some shows and stuff, riding bikes up in the Lake District, things like that. I enjoyed that time, it was good.
And you told me earlier, you're not a biker, you're more of a motorcyclist. What did you say? Because there's different cultures, right?
Yeah, it's a funny word, that. It's a funny one, because bikers, I always kind of, it's not this stigma about them being like a black, bearded, leather-clad Harley Davidson riding Hell's Angel thing, really. So I kind of said, well, I'm not really one of them. So I said, I guess I'm a motorcyclist, really. I don't know, but then I'm probably going more the other way now, really. I do like the old kind of retro, classic, custom kind of Triumph, that bike is. I don't know whether it's an age thing or what, but I do find myself look at them kind of bikes, and I like them more than what I'm famous for. I like a bike with a lot of fiberglass, down the side, and you can't see any engine. I don't like them anymore.
You don't like that anymore. And
how do you feel boring, really.
How do you feel about Harley Davidson?
Harleys are all right in America, I think, really. Over here, I'm not a big fan, if I'm honest. I think they're a bit tractorish for me, a little bit clunky, Certainly on the UK roads, maybe they're better, obviously, than they were. I'm sure they are, but no, I'm not really a massive Harley fan, if I'm honest, really. No. Sorry. Sorry, US.
And in the book, you like to tell it like it is, which I guess is a bit of what you were famous for, right? And so it's nice to see you tell your opinion of cricketers and footballers and,
Yeah,
you're not politically correct, are you?
You have to be a little bit. I'm more politically correct than I was 15, 20 years ago. Absolutely, 100%. I like to have a laugh, take the mickey, have a bit. You all like a bit of a laugh, and that's all I seem to do these days. Is take the piss out of myself and other things, tongue in cheek, in my own sort of northern way, really. And that's what people I think saw and did. The TV show, which is a few years ago. And that's what the book is now. Really, it's just me taking the mickey out of myself, taking the mickey out of things in life, other sports, but not in a nasty way. If it comes across that way, then we've kind of failed really, because I don't want it to be. I don't want to have got anybody. I've done all that in the past, and I kind of didn't mean it really, but that's just the person I was. When I was racing away from that, I was never like that. But this is just funny stories. I mean, I can say that now because a lot of people have read it in the last sort of week or so and said, this is the funniest thing I've ever read. And this is women who are buying it for their husbands or their brothers or their granddads or whatever, and they're taking it home or something. They've started reading it. Honestly, I've had so many messages, and they've had to like stop themselves from giving the book to whoever they bought it for. I said, and they've said they've read it in 2 days and just said this. Never stopped laughing, crying their eyes out laughing at it. It's so funny. I said, you're not right, you. No, it's just a good fun book with me tongue in cheek taking the piss out of myself and things in life, but not in a nasty way. Otherwise, we fail if that comes across that way. Yeah.
And how do you feel about cricketers and footballers?
You know what? Footballers, yeah. It's cricket. I don't like cricket. I'll be honest with you, as it says in the book. I think it's boring, and I was trying to come up with reasons why it gets so much publicity. So this is the Foggy theory on why. See, because nobody grows up wanting to play cricket. If you're not good enough to race a motorbike, obviously, or play football, you haven't good enough to play football, or you're not hard enough to play rugby, then you've always got cricket to fall back on. And because it's a sport that we invented, as I'm led to believe, the press and media, TV and all, they're obliged to cover it. It's an English thing. So, and because they feel sorry for people who play cricket, they give them a lot of press and media coverage. And all they have to do is England. All England have to do is just beat a country called Australia, maybe once every 10, 15, 20 years or so, and the whole team get knighted. I think they get their own radio shows, newspaper columns, TV shows, because we feel sorry for the guys because they have to play cricket because they're not good enough to play anything else. And it's funny because I actually follow a couple of cricketers on Twitter, and I actually even in my top 10. Of sporting legends and characters, the cricketers are in there, believe it or not, even both of them. So, in fact, I even borrowed his fishing rod to catch my first salmon with. So, I am taking the piss out of the sport, not in a nasty sort of way. But the funny thing that's happened recently is that the Australians have got done with the cheating of the ball, haven't they? So I'm saying, look, my point's proven. It's that shit. And it's that boring. I said the Australians are now that bored of playing it. They've got to cheat to try and make it more interesting. So they're all going, you're not right, you're not right. So
and what about?
So we had fun with that, and then even with the footballers and stuff. I'm a big football fan. I really am. Love football, but when it comes to European stuff, Champions League and that, the cheating and diving that goes on to get a yellow card for your opponent or a penalty, a free kick, or someone sent off, it's disgusting. Honestly, it's just happening all the time. Constantly happening now. Players going down because of all the camera angles now. They show a replay and the guy's gone down and no one's touched him. He's just gone down clutching his face, and when they show the replay, no one's touched his face. So I always think, how does he feel when he watches that back? That's not even funny. It's disgusting. Cheating to the lowest form I can think of. Honestly, I can't stand it.
It's acting.
It makes my blood. But it's disgusting that these players from these top clubs, the best in the world, have to throw themselves on the floor and pretend they've been fouled or hurt or kicked or whatever when they haven't even been touched, when the camera angles show it and they win the free kick, they win the game, whatever. It's disgusting. It makes your skin crawl thinking about it. It really does. I can't understand why the governing bodies, UEFA, FIFA, whatever, aren't just picking up on this and saying, look, we've got to stop this. This is crazy. Watching the videos back and say, look at you here cheating. Pretend you got hit or clipped by him or touched by him, you gone down, you didn't do. We'll fine you $100,000 a week for that and you're banned for the next 4 games. I think they'll soon stop doing it then. Because I had no place for me in cheating in any sport really. And I love football, I really do, but the European side of things, it's just it's terrible. And the referees are getting conned. It's hard for them. They're getting conned so badly with this cheating from players to win free kicks, penalties and win games that it's terrible, really.
And who else are you calling out?
Shame on you guys.
And who else are you calling out besides cricketers and footballers?
We have a laugh taking a mick out of a lot of stuff, really. The Olympics as well is one, on sports and stuff. Because I kind of got wrapped up in the Olympics, obviously, like everybody else in 2012. That's right, 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah,
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
I thought it was 2012. And I'm coming up with, it's great because he'd be the fastest man on the planet who can jump higher than anybody else, all that kind of stuff, throw something further than anybody else. But it's funny how, to win the Olympics, you've got to beat the best in the world. So that's world champion. It's the same as being a world champion, like I was. But obviously my sport is not an Olympic sport, so I'll never be Olympic champion, and no one from bike racing will be. So I'm trying to figure out why you won something at this once every 4 years called Olympic, but it was so much bigger than winning something called World Championship when it's the same people. And I couldn't get my head around, because if whoever wins the Olympics, like Steve Redgrave or someone like that, the Olympic champion 5 times, he's in my book as one of my top sporting heroes sort of thing. But I've no idea, has he actually been world champion or European champion? You would never know. But if all they got to do is win the Olympics, and they have so much fame, prestige from that. But a lot of these people who win Olympics, most people wouldn't know whether they've ever won year after the World Championship or the European. It's so powerful, that title Olympic. Yet really, it's just a World Championship with a different name. So why do they make such a fuss for winning that once every 4 years, but not when they win the world title the year after, when it's the same people?
It's a bit like
a weird thing.
The cricket media conspiracy.
It is a weird one. How famous they become, and then you don't hear of them for the next 3 years. Weird how we're just wrapped up in this Olympic thing. But then I started taking the piss out of some of the sports, how they came about, and one of them's the trip. Is he called it triple jump? Hop, trip, and jump. I think I call it.
Yeah.
And
hop, trip,
I couldn't with that one. I went, what's all that about? And my theory on that was, there's 2 theories actually. So the guy, obviously, how did it get invented in the first place? I don't know. I think somebody who was the best in the world at just running, taking a long jump into sound, he was brilliant. So the guy who kept getting beat off him, kept finishing second, he's come up with this some idea. He thinks he's run down, tripped up, stumbled, threw himself into the sandpit, and his mates are laughing at him. And one of them is a guy that's obviously keeps beating him in the long jump, So he said, look, but you can't jump as far as me. If you run down here, trip up, stumble, and hop, and throw yourself into the sandpit, but you can't jump as far as what I did, and you can't do that. And he knows somebody back in the day, when the Olympics started, on the committee, bunged him a few quid. He said, here, make it Olympic sport this. I'm pretty good at this, you know what I mean? I'll run down, trip up, stumble, hop,
they created a
throw
new
myself.
event.
So they got a new event.
Will motorcycling be in the Olympics?
Well, I don't see why not. I touched on it in the book and stuff, saying, I don't understand why, because it's a motorised thing, I don't know, but then you look at the technology that's gone into like the bobsleighs and stuff in the Winter Olympics, and even like different running shoes or whatever, or the javelin, everything, it's all aerodynamics, isn't it? And all been, sort of a lot of technology gone into it. So I don't understand why it can't be. Really.
Why not?
Keep adding more of it here, so have everybody on like a 600cc bike or something, and whatever you want. I don't understand why. Then, if somebody from Olympics, if bike racing in the Olympics, and back in my day, if I won the Olympic title, that would have been so cool. I'd have been famous forever, wouldn't I? Off back of that.
Yeah.
Like they all are today.
Would you have made any money? I don't know.
No, probably, yeah. It seemed to.
Tell me about the TV. When you get the phone call to be on I'm a Celebrity, what's your first reaction? And for some people in America that don't know, what is I'm a Celebrity? Get me out of here.
What is it? It's it takes 12 celebrities thereabouts and dump them in a jungle in the middle of Australia, and give them not much to eat, rations, and give them challenges to do, and the public vote for their favourite to eventually win the show, which I did, which I still can't believe. I don't know how that happened, to be honest.
And do you remember getting the call, and what was your first reaction?
Well, the funny thing was, I got the call, I got the asked to do the show just after I retired from racing. Obviously, I didn't do it. Excuse me. I said no. I don't even know why I said no. I don't think I was that character. I think was still too raw from finishing racing. The person I was then, I don't think he'd have come across that well. I think I was, still thinking I was, bigger and better than everybody else through being successful at racing motorbikes. But because I've been asked to do it, and over the years, I watched bits of it. It's only one of them kind of shows I enjoy watching. I'll be honest with you, the rest of them I don't watch any of that crap at all. I can't stand anything like that. I really can't. But that one, I thought, I like the concept of this. I like the idea of it. I love being outdoors. I love camping out, fishing, that kind of thing. It's kind of like that. Okay, we're out the fishing stuff, living out, camping out, getting the fire going, and sort of living, being cut off from the outside world with nothing for, if you win it, 3 weeks and 3 days it was. And I always thought, how do I get on in there, mate, I hate being bored. I hate being hungry. I don't really like people. Obviously, you're all right. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't like the celebrity kind of fame thing. I don't do it, you know. And so when they came back 3 years ago, and Neil was going, I think this is you. I think you'll go right in it. I think it's definitely for you. This one. I'm going, I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, it took them a lot of persuading for me to do it. It really did. It's like ITV. We're thinking I'm going to be the guy who was racing and just kick off and have a go at everybody and hate everybody. I think they must have thought that. And the kids are going, do it, Dad, do it, Dad. Wife's going, don't do it. Everybody will fucking hate you, don't do it. You'll just come across the right twat, don't do it. And I thought, I want to do this. I want to do it. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. This is me. You know, I want to do it. So I give Neil the nod. I said, look, they came up to my house, ITV, took me down to London, said the family looked after Versace Hotel, blah, blah, blah. McCall's going, no. Anyway, I said yes. I told Neil, I said, tell me I'll do it.
You wanted a challenge. You wanted another...
I wanted just a challenge, just see if I could do it. It wasn't about money or anything like that, a bit of fame. I don't need money, I don't need the fame. It's not me. I'm just an ordinary lad from Blackburn. I'm bothered about that stuff, you know.
But this was your biggest challenge since you left racing.
I guess, by far. By far the biggest challenge ever, because racing was something I knew I was good at, I knew I could do. This wasn't. But I thought, you know what, if this goes all tits up, and I don't really care. It's not like I've lost my job presenting a TV show or anything like that. It's not going to affect my lifestyle anyway after this. I can just go back to being Carl Fogarty, hanging out with his mates in Blackburn and going for a curry and a few beers and stuff, you know. So I said yes to it, and I never told Michaela, and she found out and said yes to it, and she went mental about it, to be honest. Didn't speak to me for 2 months.
Your wife?
Yeah, didn't speak.
2 months?
2 months, it was great. It's the best 2 months ever. And she found, anyway, it all got sorted out and everything was fine. She threw a surprise party for me just 4 days before I flew out to Australia, you know. Okay. Very emotional and good luck, all that kind of thing, you know. So off I went, you know, I was a bit nervous about it all, really was. Yeah, but who knew what's to lie ahead? I went in there, even in the first, when I kind of got thrown in there and stuff, we got put in that celebrity slammer. Four or five got voted in to slammer, jungle slammer thing, and the other 4 or 5 got another night luxury. I was in the slammer straight away with the other 4. We came from the same sort of background, really. TV kind of, music kind of side of things. I was the only sportsman there. And I thought, fucking hell, what have I done? What have I done?
Because it was rough.
I was getting anxiety, was coming back, and I was paced up and down. I didn't feel right. You know, I suffered with anxiety a lot over recent years, and it was really hitting me there. I thought, what have you done here? What the fuck have you done? I didn't need this. I'm in and out of the bush, took a room thing, whatever you call it, diary room, I keep calling it, I think it's called that. Tell them I don't feel well. I'm looking at the fence, I'm going to climb, I'm going to jump over, I'm going to get out of here, get out of here.
Wow.
It was weird, that was the first day in there.
And anxiety is real.
Yeah, and they give me some tablets, maybe some, I don't know what they give me. They said, look, you're going through the detox already. I went, oh, detox, I've only been here 2 hours. You know what I mean?
It's a real contest. It's a real test, emotionally, physically.
I knew it was going to be. I mean, people still think
People think it's a game and a
show.
show,
but look, other people that think, is it real? Do you not get a pizza brought in and go off to the hotel? I'm like, how can you lie to the British public and con the British? You can't do that. It's illegal.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, is it?
Okay, so it's real.
So it's real. It's very, very real. The real to the point was, I can't believe. I thought, well, at least there'd be water on tap to drink as much as you want of. At least, no, you have to boil the water before I could drink it. I mean, 35 degrees heat with humidity. You boiling water, put it into like a plastic kind of army canister thing to cool down and drink. It's like
they're really trying to push you to the breaking point. Basically.
Of course they are. They want
psychological warfare.
Yeah, of course
they want everyone to break down all the niceties and then go for it.
They want you to fall out and get good TV, you know. It didn't really happen with the bunch we got, and I think people preferred watching that. I think they found it more relaxing, enjoyable watching people that got on, had a laugh. I think we had a laugh. Everyone said it was so funny. You lot were so funny in there, you know. But yeah, I did that. I kind of as I'm just calming down into that first day. I don't know why they give me some tablets just to help me calm down with some Nurofen or something. I don't know. And I just felt like I'm relaxed a little bit, and then I got the phone call from the slammer and said, "Look, Carl, you going?" I went, "Oh, going? Where am I going?" No one's really says anything to it. It's all hush hush and security everywhere. And gate opens and rushed out and put it in the back of like a truck thing, you know, blacked out. And drove around some crappy little bush tucker sort of lanes in the forest, in the rainforest, in the jungle. Opened the door and said, "Walk around the Anton Decker waiting for you. Doing the first trial." I'm like, my head's all over the place. I haven't got a clue what's going on. They could have said anything because, look, you got to eat that dog shit there. You win some stars. I'm like, okay, no problem. I just, my head had gone. I had no idea what I was doing. He said, you got to get in this pit. You're doing the first trial, lie in this pit here. All these snakes are going to come in. I'm like, okay, no problem. They could have said anything. It didn't bother me. My head was just all over the place. And I did that first trial and I'd smashed it, to be honest. I knew I wasn't being scared of anything in the jungle. The thing I was more scared of going in there was other people. That was my biggest fear. I thought, if I don't get with other people, I've got a problem, or the food or the board, and that's my biggest fears. Okay. Luckily, I was fine with them. The challenges, I was fine with the challenges. I wasn't a problem. So when I came out of the first trial, I got all the stars for the camp, and I was going to meet the new camp mates and stuff that had voted me out there. I didn't know at this point. I noticed that I felt something twitching around in my shorts. I looked down. It looked like I had a hard on. I hadn't. Obviously, there was a snake still in my shorts. And the Ant and Deck just both jumped back and went, fuck, there's a snake still in my shorts. Obviously, this has all been shown on TV. I'm not known at this point. And it looked like I had an erection. Sorry. So this girl comes over who's in charge of the snakes, some zookeeper. It's not even the zoo, but whoever she is, some charge of getting a snake out of your shorts. And she came over and the Ant and Decker jumped back a bit and I'm like, fuck, this thing's moving around in my shorts. And she goes to put her hand up my shorts and I just said, make sure you get the right snake, girl. And I think
so everybody's
watching this back home said, that was it. That was the funniest thing you ever come out with, that, to be honest. So
and the big thing you're famous for was the eating part, right?
Yeah, well,
what was that like? Because it was fascinating to watch you do it, because you were like, I'm not going to let these roaches win, right?
You don't want to do it, but whatever I'm asked to do, I'm going to do it because it's a challenge. I'm trying to win. I want to win. It's about winning again. The old competitive
fear of
thing
failure
came back. Fear of failure, fear of letting your teammates down, people watching back home and stuff. And
that was still alive in you.
Yeah, that's still there. And people, that guy wants to do stuff and win. He's still there, but away from that, he's a he's normal guy now, having fun with himself, taking the mickey out of himself and things around him, So, yeah, that was...
and they're giving you really nice food next to it, and now I just realized you're really hungry, too.
You know what?